What's up, everybody? I haven't heard that tune. That was pretty cool. I like that. Guys, we've got a great show. We got a couple cool dudes on the show tonight, but you know what we got to do before we get to any of that? That's right. Here we go. Let's start it.
Mike Seeley with the Double S Smokers Competition Barbecue Team. We're here at the 2022 Memphis and May World Championship Barbecue Contest, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Hi guys, I'm Carly Alexinas with Give 'em Hell Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Bam. First.
Well, hello there. I'm Dennis Butterworth with Warpig Barbecue, but you can call me Butter, and you're listening and watching the So Smoking Gooder Show with Rob Arocha.
All righty. Good evening, Gooder Gang. You know what time it is. It's a little after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, March the 22nd already. And you know where to be, and that is right here watching the very best fake internet barbecue show on these here interwebs. That's right. You're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show. I am your host, Rob Arocha, and I'm coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas. Damn glad you found this, however you found this, whether you're checking us out on Facebook. Some of you guys are on YouTube. A lot of you guys are on YouTube right now, and none of you guys are on Twitch at the moment. These guys like to come in late, but you know what I ask of you guys. Please share this. Let's go. If you're on Facebook, like this and share. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Let's get the word out for what we're doing here, which is having some good old entertainment, talking barbecue with you guys here and there. I appreciate you guys watching. And speaking of, what we like to do at this time is give some love to you guys that are supporting this show right now. And let's do it right now. 52 already watching. I'm just saying my first words. I'm loving this right now. Carlos Calzada back in the top spot this week from Smoking Los Barbecue. What is up, Carlos? Daddy Dutch right behind him. What's up, Daddy Dutch? How are you? Madwood checking in. I appreciate you guys over in YouTube land. We got Jared McCrory. Good evening. How are you, Jared? Heath McWilliams. Hello. Sean Strader. Or is it Strotter? How are you doing, Sean? Michael Sistruck. How are you, buddy? Joe Valpita. Hi, everyone from Beaumont, Texas. This is a new name to the show, but I'm gonna introduce you guys to Joe here a little later in just a minute. Brian Fox, hello. Madwood back at it. Robert Michelle, how are you, sir? Tim Kirkendall, how are you, young man? God's Country, Aaron AJ Garza checking in. Tom and Belle Clark checking in. Look at this guy, the man, the myth, the hottest man in barbecue right now, Mr. Chicken Fried Barbecue. Bill Purvis checking in. Greg Minotti, Judge Webb. Johnny Maggs, what's up, Johnny Maggs? How are you, my man? All the way from the East Coast. We got Dean Henry. Hello. Randy Salinas from Big Salinas Barbecue. How are you, buddy? Steve Cumby. What's up, Steve? How are you, my man? All right, let's see. Randall Johnson. Congratulations, Randall, on a big weekend. Buzzed Barbecue Company checking in. Trent Lichka. I think I'm saying that right. Cesar Mejia. Larry Vaughn. I love this, guys. Thank you guys so much. Mark Pugh, Rockin' A checking in. Kevin Hernandez, Grady Speed. Congratulations, Grady. Jen Lee checking in. How are you, Jen? Raul Gonzalez. We've got Sweet Ruth is checking in. Louis Gonzalez, DD Barbecue, Wesley White. Oh, man. Y'all are just keep coming here. Stephen Peacock, David Moat. Yes, there he is. Joey Smith from the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. Dub Ewing. I think I saw your name too. Congratulations, Doug. Joshua Eubanks. It's Strader. All right, Strader. All right, there you go. All right. We're getting there. John Pardita, Kimmy Hooks, Steve Cummings. All right, here we go. John Flores and Ubron. All right, yes, sir, that was correct. All right, guys, thank you so much, man. This rundown, this roll call list is getting longer and longer. James Powell, I skipped you, man. I'm sorry. There he is, James Powell from 360 checking in as well. And I love that, guys. Thank you guys so much for sharing and for liking and watching this show each and every week. It does mean the world to me. I'm excited about tonight's show, guys. We've got a couple of cool dudes, man. We got some good dudes out there. They're just straight up good dudes. We got my co-host for the evening is Aaron Leslie from Texas Oil Dust. I might as well go ahead and bring him. He looks ready to go. Aaron, you give me the thumbs up. Are you ready to go, bub? He's ready. So I'm going to bring him on right now before we get started on the show. Mr.
What's
Aaron
up, bitches? What's up, bitches?
What's up, bitches? All right. That's the way we're going to start. I like it. I'm down with that, man.
It's the brown water talking, man. I'm just telling you right now. You just gotta watch it.
How long have you been on the brown water today, my man?
What time is it?
It is 8 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Well, you can't drink all day if you don't start early. No, usually, man, I'll make 5 or 6. I start messing with briskets around 5. So
well,
I'll start cranking my first.
I haven't been drinking on the show, but I did because I knew you were doing the brown water. I had to bust out my good old trusty Eureka Hide Something Light. So that's what's in the cup.
Now hold on a minute. Now, why haven't you been drinking on the show? I got to ask this question. Everybody, you always make the comment, well, I'm not drinking tonight, but so really, why haven't you been drinking? What's the deal?
Because I don't have my permit, my normal co-host. I want to be, make sure I'm up on.
Man, you're tired of going to the bathroom. That's what you are. You're just tired of going to the pisser.
the kicking the tires. It happens when you are drinking a little bit more often than not. So yeah, it's laid out. It's definitely curbed some of those kick the tire breaks. But I got my producer Ty in the back now, so I really don't have to focus so much over there. Shout out to my producer Ty Cobb.
Man, what's up, Ty?
From the Tom Ball VFW. Say hi,
Tom Ball VFW.
Hi, say hi. He didn't know I was going to do that, but there he is right
How'd
there.
You get wrangled into that, Ty? I'm just curious, man.
He volunteered, and it's been great, man. I'm loving this, having producer Ty in the background. Oh, look, the first Twitch guy. What's up? Don't suck. Yeah, I'm gonna try not to tonight. What's up, Taz? Thanks for checking in. Yeah. So it's good to have some support. It's great that I'm having, these special co-host moments like this guy right here, Aaron Leslie, checking in. Not only a special co-host, but a badass cook in his right.
Get lucky, man.
How are things with you? What's up in West Texas, man? How are things with Texas Oil Dust?
I tell you what, this is our second day of 80+ degree weather. So we've been in the 30s and 40s. This is number 2. We were 90, 95. I mean, we were 48 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour winds 2 days ago, and now we're 95 degrees. So we're starting to see the weather change a little bit out here. Other than that, West Texas is awesome, man. It's got beautiful skies and sunny stars. I don't know if you guys have stars out there where y'all are at.
Yes, we have stars. You just got to go a little bit away, and then I'm not. You got to go out a little west to get there. What's up, Danny? How are you, buddy? Corby, look at the head on that one. I don't know who he's talking about. I think he's talking about you. So look at head on that one. Ty, Tom and Bell, way to go, Ty. If you want comments read on this show, make them pertinent to what we're talking about in the moment. If you want to make them a little funny, that helps. But if you definitely want your comment read, put Ty's name in it. I bet he's gonna highlight those. If you say hi to Ty, chances are it's gonna get highlighted up there.
Ty will be the most mentioned name in barbecue tonight.
Yes. Speaking of special co-hosts, shout out to my last week's special co-host, Grant Hollywood Neal from the Smoking Joint, all the way coming from Australia. We also had Sterling Smith from Loot and Booty Barbecue, and we also had Mike Johnson, Sugar Fire Smokehouse. So they were giving a class all the way in Australia, teaching them some American low and slow.
They were in Melbourne.
He was Melbourne.
Smitty was texting me. He's like, "Hey man, check this out." He's showing me pictures. They're doing ribs and shit. Got piggy bank on them out in Melbourne, Australia. From the future.
How cool was that from the future? Exactly. We traveled over Australia and into the future, so it was a double whammy here on the So Smoking Gooder show last week. Danny Regan has a question for you. What is Aaron drinking?
Jim Beam, baby. If I can get a sponsorship, anybody knows anybody from Jim Beam, y'all hook me up, man. Because me and Whitaker, we keep these sons of bitches in check. We let them know when a batch goes sour. I'll tell you that.
So you mentioned the weather changes. Does that do anything to your cook when the weather changes over there to you?
I tell you what, if y'all want to know what cold and hot is, come out here to West Texas. We'll show you what cold is.
In the same day, right?
In the same day. It can be 45 degrees and just cold, just cold. And it can be 100 degrees tomorrow and then snowing the next day.
There's Scott.
They live in the desert with us.
Yeah.
What's up, Scott?
It changes, man, and it changes in a single day.
Just ask old Tom and Bell there about what it's like to come up here and do a little cooking in the old West Texas weather. They'll tell you.
Yeah, it's how's the scene out in West Texas as far as barbecue is concerned? I know there's the contests they're not always out there, right? Or are they starting to be more and more?
Man, we drive a lot, and so a lot of towns try to put cook-offs on. We average probably, I want to just throw a number, 15 to 20 a year in West Texas. And that could be sanctioned, unsanctioned, Lone Star, IBCA. Crazy. It's not very many. But when you do get one out here, everybody kind of flocks to it. But yeah, I mean, it's, we average 15 to 20 a year, all sanctioned bodies, not one, not two, but through all of them, Lone Star, IBCA. So, I mean, it's picking up. IBCA's got a few coming up here pretty quick, and CBA's going to have a few coming up pretty quick. So we got about 3 or 4 more months of that cook-off starting to come around. But nobody out here cooks in the wintertime. I'm just telling you, it's pretty brutal.
Tom and Bell said cold. There he is, my man, producer Ty's on.
I think when they came to Amarillo, it was 18 degrees.
Damn. Yeah, that's cold. That is cold. That is cold. Hey, real quick before we get started over here, I mentioned Joe was here. Well, let me back up real quick. Let's do a quick sponsor. Since Aaron, you are one of the sponsors of the So Smoking Gooder show. Thank you very much. This is your second year to be sponsoring. I appreciate that. Stick around while I do this real quick. Let's give some shout outs real quick to Rec Tech appreciate you, Rec Tech. They have been killing it. That Rec Tech Bullseye is amazing, and it's
that 340 is banging, dude.
And they just introduced 2 new grills, so you got a portable 340. Did you see that, Aaron? It goes up.
No,
on
I
legs.
Did not.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have the portable 340. Is that not what I've got?
Yeah, they call it now the Patio Legend. It's a different kind of, it's the same, but almost different. It's got a different leg kick-up system. Shout out to Cosmos Q Products. I saw Cosmo at a Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. He visited my tent where I was with Half-Fast Cookers. We got the Uvalde Cook-Off, the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads. That's going to be this year, December 8th and 9th in 2023 in Uvalde, Texas. Make plans to attend that one. Aaron, why don't you say some words about this guy right here, Aaron Leslie, Texas Oil Dust.
Handsomest man in barbecue right now. I'm going to tell you that right now, take that to the bank. No, I'm just kidding, man. Texas Oil Dust. I appreciate the shout out, but you guys, I appreciate y'all supporting small business.
Absolutely. He's got some great rubs, sauces, pickles, all of it. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Of course, you saw me drinking something lights from Eureka Heights. That's a great one. If you guys find that at HEB, you will not be disappointed. Case is no longer on the show, but his ambassadorship is Texas Pepper Jelly. You can find that in HEB, all over the place, but you can find it also at the barbecue store in Hempstead. # where you go to win. Shout out to Dustin Stanley. They're introducing the Texas 6-pack coming up next weekend. It begins. And also We Branded Promotions, Miss Julie Stanley. They got some hats coming out. Some bullhorn hats are coming out for you guys if you want one of those. We got Summer Moreno, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. She was our sponsored spotlight in February. She can insure all of your barbecue needs, your boats, your rig. When I say boats, I always say boats, man. Your rigs, your trailers, your toy haulers, your life. Get with Summer Moreno. She can hook you up with the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. We got Clark Compression and Components. Miss Bell and Tom Clark are in the comments. Right now, they can do all your gas compression needs for natural gas compression needs, and engine gas, fuel, all of it. They can do it. That's Clark Compression and Components. Danny Dietz Memorial Classic, that's coming up in September. That is now a KCBS event. It's going to be in Waller, Texas, at the Jellystone Ranch. I am going to be there. That's going to be a KCBS event this year. Texas Original Charcoal Company, Mr. Joey Smith. I will see him this weekend. This guy, you guys, if you have not tried Texas Original Charcoal, what are you waiting on? Come find me. I have some with me. I'll have, if you see me at a contest, I got it. So hit me up and I will hook you up. LC Barbecue Products just released 2 new rubs, Honey Hole and Hill Country Blend. Charles will talk about that a little later in the show for sure. And of course, our day one bull printing wraps and graphics. They've been with us since day one. So thank you guys to those sponsors. If you do want to sponsor the show, it's coming up. We start from July the 1st through June 30th. So June 30th is right around the corner. We got 2 new sponsors we picked up already. One is the K&R Pipeline. Willie Richards is now going to be a part of the So Smoking Gooder show.
Don't touch my Willie.
And where is it at right here? Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. Shout out to Joey Smith. If Ty, you can pull that comment down.
Captain Joey Smith.
Captain Joey Smith.
You better get that right.
Lots going on.
He earned that maritime.
He did. He's got lots going on with the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, not just barbecue, but now offshore. We'll get Joey back on to talk about everything he's got going on with that. But what we are doing each month, we're going to be doing a veteran spotlight. So we got the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation Veterans Spotlight. Let me pull that down right there. And our first one is the man that's in the comments right there, Joe Volpita. 24 years combined service in the U.S. Army and the Texas National Guard. Joe cooks under a team called Smokin' V's Barbecue. Hopefully, Joe, we'll see you out on the circuit. Joe has been interested in barbecue his entire life. Couple of his memorable barbecue moments. He was RGC with the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation in Llano in 2021. And in 2022, he cooked that out at El Campo, which was the end of the Texas 6-pack, with his great nephew there shown in that photo right there. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate your years of service. Thank you very much. Salute to you. And hopefully we'll see you, like I said, on the barbecue trail. That's pretty cool. we'll be doing that each and every month with a veteran for the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. You know about the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, Aaron, don't you?
I do. I sponsor them, and when Joey and them need stuff, they reach out. And we ship them whatever they need, and Midland Meat Company is also behind Texas Hero Joey's foundation. So that's not to get it all jumbled up. I don't want to say the wrong word, so I just kind of backed out. But
yeah. There he is, right there, Captain Joe. Thank you for your service, Joe. And Joe is in the comments. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Joe. Tom and Bell, love this. Amazing. Thank you, sir, for your service. All right. That was pretty cool. So, shout out to Joey Smith and Cassie Smith with the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. Very proud to have them on board.
Hello, Cassie. Cassie. I see you out there. I just got to make sure I say her name. I don't know if she is not, but I'm not past Mr. at Chupacabra one time. I never lived it down. So every time I see her, I say, well, hello there, Miss Smith. How you doing, Cassie? I got to make sure she understands that I see her.
Yeah, you can't get in trouble for that, man.
No, you can't.
You mentioned Midland Meat Company. I know a lot of I see those beautiful briskets that you post when you're at a contest, Aaron. Have I mentioned the Tomball VFW?
Better hurry.
There you go. I did. Producer Ty working in the background from the Tomball VFW. Shout out to the Tomball VFW. Drink, everybody. But yeah, so I see these beautiful briskets that you post, and a lot of the West Texas guys, not only West Texas, all over now. It's no secret any longer. The Midland Meat Company, man. Talk about what they do for you and how they produce these beautiful briskets that you guys are cooking.
I'll tell you what, that was a hidden gem back in 16, 17, 18, 19. It was
no longer.
It was oh yeah. So we had a leg up. John's beef is not like anybody else's beef. It has a little different flavor, a little different texture. It's a rich, but it's still Texas beef, right? He's got a blend going, and he's been working on this blend for going on almost 15 years. So when his cattle came out, and I first started cooking one of his briskets back in 16, it was 32 pounds. That brisket hung over a disposable cutting board, and he said, "Hey, I got this brisket here. See if you can do something with it." So by the time, it was like a Cracker Jack box. By the time I peeled that top fat layer back, because you got to remember, back then it was it was fat on top, fat on bottom, and when you shave that fat cap back on the very top, you expose that marbling, and it was just bright red candy cane, just gorgeous. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a Cracker Jack box. You know, a little prize in that Cracker Jack box. You reach in there, you grab it out, and I tell you, when you slice that fat back, it was just amazing. Now they come trimmed. They come already like the fat off the top. But I was one of the lucky ones that got to be the original seeder of that, how John's progressed from 2015 to 2023. So in 8 years, he's just trifolds everything. I mean, it's won multiple first place American Royal steak competitions as far as the way they grade things, and it's the American Royal trophies, the Houston Livestock Show Rodeo trophies, the San Antonio trophies, they're all in his store. Anybody wants to go buy, they're all first place trophies. That's all he keeps. And so it's kind of it's a beef and a family that you get behind. You just don't leave. You stay right there. You do it. Get out of the way. JD Henley's, one thing he always tells me is, Aaron, just cook the beef and get out of the way. Let the brisket do its job. You overthink brisket, you overthink cooking, you overthink ribs, all that kind of stuff. And so if you'll just cook the beef, get out of the way, let the brisket do what it's supposed to do. It was raised to taste good. So if you get out of the way, just get out of the way. I mean, just let it do its thing. You're going to be, you're going to succeed in what you're doing. So, that one of those things that I enjoy is I've been with John for so long that I don't go for the biggest ones. I don't want the big briskets. I don't want those big 20-pound plus. I want that one on the shelf that every other guy is getting, because those are tender, they're soft, they're juicy. And to me, I don't care what it looks like. I just want it to show up. Just put it in the box, like Bill's saying, just like Robert says. The whole thing about John's beef is he already took care of the job for you. All you got to do is cook it. So I mean, it's just the moneymaker, and that's why I named the moneymaker 3 years ago. It's just the moneymaker. It's done well, it does good. But once everybody started catching on, it made things difficult out there because we had a leg up. You know, when Wagyu first introduced in a barbecue, everybody had a leg up. And then as things got more and more into it. So, yeah, John and his family and Midland Meat Company are some of the best people you'll ever meet. He's my business partner, and I love working here.
How can they get some of that if they want some of those premium briskets and steaks and all of that, the meat?
MidlandMeatCo.com. Give them a phone call. Ask them, say, hey, I want a comp brisket. Do you have something I can use? Don't be aggressive. Don't be jerk because they're going to hang up on you. I mean, you're just like anybody else. Don't think that you're somebody special. Just say, I'd like to have a brisket and cook the brisket. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about the cane. So just call them up. Say, hey, I want a brisket. Can I get a comp brisket? And they're going to send you one. You may have a waiting list. It may be 2 weeks. John has only so many head a week he kills. And so there's only so many good, big comp briskets in every batch, every kill every week. So just be patient, give them a heads up, don't call them on a Thursday think you'll get a brisket on a Saturday, because it's probably not going to happen because most guys getting them started 3 weeks ago. So just get one and cook it, see what happens.
Ty's been highlighting like Gary Robertson, Love Texas Oil Dust, and Midland Meat. A lot of the guys out there. But let's back up to Joe, our Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation Veteran Spotlight. He's in the comments, and everybody's thanking him. Aaron, Cassie says hello. There you go. And Joe's in there. Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation Class Act. They talk the talk and walk the walk. They've really helped me out, and they've helped, like Carlos Calzada is another I guess alumni from the classes that they provide out there. I saw this one. My beautiful Mrs. and me have our first comp of the year coming up on the 15th. Going to try and defend our GC from last year. Sad thing is she has a knee surgery on the 3rd, but she says she's going to go be a damn trooper. All right. Well, good luck, Buzz Barbecue. Chuck, no, I am not. Are you going to be at the Cooker Coda in Austin this weekend, Aaron? I am not.
No, I'm going to be somewhere else.
Okay. Somewhere else. He's not saying where
I'm going to do some driving. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, and you mentioned a lot of first place trophies with Midland Meat. I know for a fact one of the coolest moments that I got to, since I've been around hanging out with Mr. Aaron Leslie, I got to witness a big first place brisket at the San Antonio Rodeo. We really haven't talked about that on this show. I mean, I mentioned it, but I haven't talked about it with you. Can you take us back to that moment in San Antonio? Let's take you back, the big stage. I remember you telling me, you'd been 5 years there without a call. Before we get Charles on, I got to hear this story, and everybody here watching, we got 86,000 people that are checking this in tonight. Thank you guys for tuning into the show again. Oh, look at this guy. Look at that guy. You missed it. Take us back to that moment, man, because I've heard the story, and I know a lot of these guys have not. So I want to, as Sarah said, trust the dust, and let's hear this story, my man.
So, 5 years, we had a round table last year, and it was like, hey, are we, Joey and Roddy, and man, we sat there, and I just said, look, I just want a banner. Just give me a banner. It doesn't matter if it's 10th place or 15th. I don't care. I just want a banner. So, I've gone, I've donated, I've cooked, and I think I turned out really good product. And, there's only so many times you're going to go do something before you decide cap rope, right? It's time to stop. And so we get there, and I watch chicken go through, and Fred gets a call, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Oh, Robles, he's fixing to come in here and do what he did last year. It's okay. It's good. Then Jeremy gets that first place chicken. Then here goes ribs, and Bill bumps out a rib, and then here comes you with that rib call. And I went, yeah, it's all right. But Fred didn't walk, and I was like, man, this might be kind of tough. This is Lone Star. So this might just come down to first place brisket, and everybody's looking. I got my tickets right here, and I'm just doing my thing. And I'm disappointed, but I was like, man, we turned out good food. And Chuck kept saying, I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling there. And it's going to come. I got a feeling. I was like, Chuck, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. But so it got down to, they keep counting down. Then Bill pops that brisket call. And I was like, there it is. And everybody's like, man, Bill just won. I said, well, there's a couple of guys that have it that have a first place call already, or even a second place call that can get a first place brisket and still win this thing. You're right in front of me. Jeremy's right in front of me. And it gets down to third place and second place, and I'm like, fuck this place. I'll never fucking come back again. I ain't come back to this piece of shit place ever again. I'll never donate another damn dime to this place. I'm not coming. I heard it's 214, but 168 or whatever, and I looked down at my ticket and I just threw my beer down because that was me. And I mean, I was in the middle of saying, you know, cussing this place out for never giving me a banner and never getting anywhere. And man, I was pissed. I was yelling. I mean, I was just yelling top of my lung, you know, fuck this place. I ain't never coming back. Son of a bitch. Fuck this place. Oh, man, I was just pissed. And I heard that 214 number. And I looked down, and there it was. And his last number, I was like, holy shit. And I just threw my asshole in my beer, brand new beer. Thing jumps, hits the ground, comes up, comes back down. I look at Chuck. I'm yelling, you know. And he's like, what? Ah! We're just, I mean, doing it. Here comes George Valerio. And I just pick him up and shake him like a twig. Bear hugged him, and his old feet are dangling. You know, everybody's like, Aaron, his feet were just dangling in the air. You picked a 350-pound man up. And I was like, I had no idea. I just know a couple of guys were big, and I picked them up, and I bear hugged them, and my back paid for it the next day. But and then I just bulldozed my way to the front. Get out of my way. I was tossing chairs. I was elbowing people. There was guys coming through, and I'm just, you know, all I want is my banner. But I mean, we've been, you know, everybody's drinking. They're in the moment, and you're just. It come down to 30, top 10 anyways, but come down to 30 guys, and I got the last call, and I finally got my banner, and that's all I cared about. I had no idea in the world that I just might have reserved this thing, and that wasn't even on my mind. I knew Bill done won it, you know, just by keeping count in your head. So I get up there, and I'm just so excited. I'm just my throat is, you know, my neck is all flared up. I'm pumped, and so I get up to the front, and I guess I slapped Tim Kirkendall in the nose because he was bleeding for like an hour, like a stuck pig. And I just, you know, I did up there, go to the deal, and I get my photos taken. Chuck and I are, you know, we're riding the high. And then all of a sudden, man, they, hey, where's Aaron? Get Aaron back up here. And I'm like, why? So that was my first time to ever share the stage with Purvis. You know, that was our first time. He's like, get over here. I said, why am I getting over there? He goes, you just reserved this thing. I'm like, what?
No, I remember what he said. We just 1-2'd this motherfucker is what he said.
Oh, yeah. Well,
get over here.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been. I mean, there was a lot going on, and my mind was in a different place. And all I cared, when I hugged Bill, I said, I got my motherfucker.
You cried a little bit, says Manuel.
I might have had an alligator tear or two in there, you know. I mean, that all I cared about was I got my banner, you know. My dad.
Go ahead, bro. I know your dad recently passed.
So that's good.
Yeah,
it's a good day.
It was a great day, man, and congratulations. It was awesome to witness, and you and I are pretty good friends now, and we weren't near each other at that moment, but when I heard, you know, I didn't even know that was you, right? Until, you know, it's so large.
Well, you were one row in front of me, you know. I mean, you were right there in front. I mean, there was probably 2 chairs between me, you, and Diane.
Oh, really? I didn't know. You probably tossed me out of the way,
yeah.
Bulldozed me. But whenever you hear that, you know, first place brisket, you hear Aaron Leslie, Texas Oil does.
Yeah, there you go, Daddy Duck. You know, allergies are kicking up. You know, yeah. I told my dad when I left, I said, Dad, I'm going to San Antonio, and I hope you're here when I get back. I'm going to get a banner for us. I was focused. Amazing. So, I mean, I was determined that I'm walking away with a triangle banner, and I got one. I was able to take it back to him and show him that, you know, we did it. Now, he didn't notice too much, but he said, I'm proud of it.
I know he's proud of you, bro, and we're all proud of you, but I know that's really special knowing that you did that for your dad in that stage and that scene with that many teams out there, man. Congratulations. And it's a cool story, and I wanted us to hear that.
I appreciate it, man.
Man, it's an honor to know you, and you're loved by everybody. And I saw, you know, people were talking about how you helped them. James Dodson made a comment up here how much you've helped him, and there it is right there. Texas Oil Dust and Aaron Leslie have helped us more than anyone in our barbecue journey. You're just a great ambassador for this sport, and you help people all over along the way. You know, you and I have talked many times just talking barbecue, and I know you do that with other people as well. And so, Aaron, hats off to you, and congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, man.
Huge call.
Thank you. That I got a good circle.
You do. We do.
You have a tight circle. there's a few people in a circle. There's a bigger circle. There's a bigger circle. So I've got a very tight circle with a few people that I can talk to and I can trust. And John at the Meat Company is one of those guys. And I just, you know, if you don't have your circle and the people that you can trust and the people that follow you and they believe in you, man, you're doing something wrong. You know, you're not in the right element of what you got going on. You need to refocus on some of those things. So we all, as barbecue guys, as human beings, as people who ride for the brand, no matter what brand you ride for, you know, the Cross, you know, your sponsors or just your family in general, if you don't have that circle and the people around you and that support, man, you're doing something wrong. You need to refocus your steps. So,
Aaron, thanks for sharing that story, brother. We love you. Everybody here watching.
Let's move on. I'm done. Okay, let's move on.
Are you ready to put your co-host hat on now?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right.
I got 3 Jim Beams. Look at this. I got 3 Jim Beams. I told you I'm in for the long haul, baby. We don't have to go to the bathroom, and if I run out, I got just a little bit left. We're good. We're good.
Smoking Magic's in the house. What's up, guys? I got a cool story about them, but they're going to be on the show. We'll announce that in a little bit. They're going to be on the show, these guys in Kansas City. So awesome, man. Hey, love that, you know,
appreciate it.
Everything about it, man. Thanks for sharing that with us out here. All right. Well, Aaron's now going to put on his co-host hat because we've got our featured guest of the evening. If Mr. Ty, I know Ty's back there doing what he's got to do. We're going to bring him on right now. We're talking about a guy that Aaron knows very well. He's been doing it for a little while, but we're going to introduce you guys. This is his first time on the show. He is making his debut appearance on the So Smoking Gooder Show. We're talking about this man right here, Mr. Charles Tant from Bury the Bone Barbecue. What is up, Charles? Look at you. You look like you're sitting on like a throne back there now.
Yeah, no, just chilling, hanging out.
Is that like a fake?
Is he at Phil's house too? I mean, Kit was at Phil's house and Phil was at Phil's house. Is he at Phil's house too?
No. So we built this pergola, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We just call it our church.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That looks like a great place to hang out, man.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
Well, congratulations. That looks amazing. And so Charles, this is your first time on the show. Please, is that Darth Vader's summer home? It could be Roy Austin. What's up? Charles, this is your first time on the show. Like I said, you're making your debut appearance on the So Smoking Gooder Show. So for those that may not know Charles, please introduce yourself, my man.
I'm Charles Tant from Bury the Bone Barbecue. I got started in barbecue in 2015, end of 2015. My first comp was introduced to me by a couple of friends. We cooked the 2015 Lone Star Barbecue Cody's.
Yeah.
84 teams. Got a 4th-place rib. No sauce. Big Ed Falder. He's like, dude, no sauce? You got balls. But, you know, to me, when I grew up, sauce was an option. But we got a 4th-place rib. And from that point on, I was hooked. I called my wife, and I'm like, hey, I got a trophy. Didn't care about money. It was trophy.
Well, so Justin just asked this question. That was my first question to ask Charles. Charles.
Yes, sir.
Bury the Bone. Bury the Bone. Where did you come up with the name?
You know, me and my wife sat around and we were just discussing stuff, you know. And
man, we're on a time limit, Charles. You go.
Yeah, anybody that knows me, you know, dude, I like.
Love that, Aaron. I love that, Aaron.
Yeah, I like innuendos.
Not.
So
wake up.
That's where Bury the Bone came from.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Please.
No, say it again.
Yes.
I said I like innuendos. So
okay.
Bury the Bone, that's where it came from.
I get it now. Bury the Bone.
Yeah, so at a couple of comps in Lone Star, there's a couple of judges or JCs. So when they call me, they like bury the bone deep.
Bury the bone deep. Danny Regan says that 4th place rib with no sauce cost you about $100,000.
At least 100. See,
at least.
He used to roll up in this Taj Mahal back before people were driving and rolling up in fifth wheels and toy haulers. When I saw Charles pull up, and I think it was Ardmore.
Yep.
Before you came to my class that time, I think you had that toy hauler, right? You had the back end down, you had the drums out there. I mean, it's dude, man, it was a 50-foot Taj Mahal. I was like, damn, he's dragging that thing around. Of course, that was just my old barbecue trailer. So he's probably got an easy 100.
We bought that thing 2 weeks after my 4th place win. Because I didn't want to sleep in my truck no more.
So, but since then you've come on the scene. I remember my first knowledge of you because when you came down into my neck of the woods, right? You came down in the Houston area. You did the was it a Magnolia event in 2021 or 20? And I was like, who is this Bury the Bone guy? You walked like 3 out of 4. I don't. You remember that contest? How did you?
Yes,
what did you hit that day, and where did you wind up?
So my very first CBA event was in Weatherford, and I got a first place pork with a perfect score. And I told my wife, I'm like, man, I really like cooking this pork. So she's my pimp. So she said, you're going to Magnolia next week. So I'm like, okay. So went to Magnolia. I can't remember exactly. I think I either got a 3rd place pork or a 3rd place brisket, and then a 5th place pork or 5th place brisket. They may be switched. 9th place chicken and 11th place rib, and I finished 3rd overall.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Who the hell is this guy? And then we come to. I met you that day, and you. I knew you were from up north. You were from the north, as they say in Game of Thrones. But yeah, you're from Wichita Falls, Texas. So
Texas.
Yeah. You're almost a Texan. No, I'm kidding. You were Wichita Falls, Texan. You're almost in South Oklahoma up there. And like I asked Aaron, what's the scene up there in Wichita Falls as far as barbecue? How many contests are in your area? Are there many? Are there not so many? I'm not sure.
So originally there was quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
We probably had 6 to 7 right here in this area a year. But man, it just got to the point to where I would do good in this area. But I wanted to venture out. I wanted to move on. I wanted to see other things. So I just started cooking further out, Dino Anness is the one that got me into barbecue. He was a phenomenal cook. He's the one that invited me to the Cody's.
That's so
we had a good time.
Yeah, Bell makes a comment. Weatherford likes Charles. You are coming off an event in Weatherford.
Yes, sir.
You had a great day, obviously. Yes, you had there was 3 categories, right? Did you walk all 3?
No, sir. I did not walk brisket.
You didn't walk in brisket. Okay. And you didn't walk in brisket, but you still finished overall 2nd. Overall, you were reserve grand champion out there in Weatherford. How did I not know about this, Aaron? I did not know about this contest. I mean, I knew it was on there.
Man, we talked.
I told you about it.
I told you they were doing 30,000+, and then all of a sudden it was 44,000. I mean, 81 teams, 44,000 give out. If you guys want a cook-off, you want a good old-fashioned cook-off with great venue and good people, that one in Weatherford is where to go.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to that Weatherford. Shout out to Weatherford and that Lone Star event, man. That they brought the teams out there.
It used to be a secret.
It did. Yeah. It used to be a secret.
Used to be a
but
secret.
in 2 years, they went from 20 teams to 81.
Wow.
So last year I granted the event, and it was 40, I think 45 somewhere in there teams. But the funny thing is last year I granted the event with the exact same cause. First place rib, fifth place chicken.
Well, now there's twice as many teams, so it's a little more difficult. Yeah, money talks. They put out the money. So shout out to Lone Star Barbecue for having that event out in Weatherford, and shout out to the promoters out there in Weatherford. And I know that they want
the
to
city
grow
of
it.
Weatherford puts that cook-off on, and those guys are just they're wanting to grow it. Yeah, so it's the city of Weatherford. They're wanting to grow that cook-off. They want it bigger and bigger, and so they're they want to know what can they do to increase. How much more can they do? What's the like jackpots and what's all the small things they can do to make that event bigger. So y'all be on the lookout for it next year. I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's definitely no
they
longer
want to have the biggest event in Texas.
They want to make it the biggest event in Texas. Wow.
Yes.
Well, they keep throwing money at it like that. I know where I'll be in March next year, trying to get a piece of that pie because, hey, shout out to them. And like Manny says, money talks for sure. Yeah, James, when are we going to Weatherford? Next March, brother. Next March, we are going, my man.
I mean, first place brisket paid $3,000.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that fifth place. Aaron, you got a fifth place brisket. You got $1,000.
Yeah, 15th broke
place,
even.
15th was $300.
200.
Okay, well, I was with my family, and I was cooking these burgers on a tiny little kids Q Weber, cooking burgers, and I'm listening to the awards, and I was like, wait, did they say that $1,000 for fifth place? And I was like,
and I'll tell you this, it wasn't a stacked event, so. There was 81 teams. There was a mix of good competition cooks and good backyard cooks. I mean, just good everyday guys who were just out there trying to burn some meat in the parking lot. The problem is that you didn't see a lot of big comp walks. You didn't see a lot of big like backyard walks. It was a very even mix across the board. So, I mean, the judges, had a tough thing on their hands to try to figure out what they thought was the best. But Lone Star, I think it went 3 rounds. So, I mean, it was a good, it was just good. It was good competition, but at the same time, good flavor still stood out, no matter if it was comp or backyard. Didn't really matter.
Congrats, Anna, on that fourth place brisket, $1,500. My goodness.
I'm pretty sure she had first place Cook's Choice too.
Oh, she did. She definitely did.
Yes, she did.
Look at Dwayne. Dwayne, I need to talk to you, my man. This guy's killing it out there. Second ribs, $2,500. That's amazing. That is amazing. So so that is no longer a secret, people. So Weatherford, they'll probably grow it another 40 teams next year. Who knows? But let's talk about your rise from 2015. Who were your early influences? You mentioned a gentleman earlier, but
Dino and S was my early influence. Then you got Brendan Locker, Rock Bottom Barbecue. He was phenomenal in helping me. Back then, there was not a lot of.
Me too, Eddie.
So, you can only Google so much back then.
Right.
My first rubs were Oak Ridge, and anybody that has ever cooked with Black Ops knows that it puffs up and rubs off your brisket. And, I had plenty of people saying, "Dude, what happened to your bark? It just wiped away." But I was learning. Read a lot of things. I never realized how secretive people are with barbecue.
Back then, way secret.
Yes.
Different now.
So, and anybody can ask me anything, and I don't mind. It doesn't matter. That's one of the things.
What's up, Caleb? Welcome to the show,
Caleb.
Welcome to the show.
Part of Myron Mixon's book was, I can teach you everything I know.
Love you, Caleb. Love you.
And I'll put on a trash can and still whoop your ass. And I'm like, but at the end of the day, like Philip, that was one of his things. I can teach you all this stuff. End of the day, you got to cook it. So you got to make it work for you. And
you mentioned him. I was going to bring him up now. Phil Breeden. He's also been a major influence on you as well. You like me go to and help him with his classes as well.
Yes,
and that's where you and I have gotten to know each other. Kind of, we're still getting to know each other. But talk about Phil Breeden and what kind of influence he's had on Barry to Bone.
So I took Aaron's class.
That's about fucking time, man.
Yeah.
God damn, I thought you was going to sit there and just dance all around that son of a bitch.
As anybody knows, you can take classes, you can do this. So if one program worked for everybody, we'd all win. But all programs don't work for everybody. And, and I'm one that tries. Aaron can tell you, I spent $700 on freaking rubs after his class. I go all in. I try. And I try to make things my own. Philip has been super helpful. Any questions I have, anything like that, he has always been very helpful with it. His program has worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Everybody would be in my position if they took his class, but they're not. Not everybody is in that position. You got to make it work for you. And I've made it work for me. Regardless, I'm not 100% his stuff. I've turned things around and made things work for me.
Let's go. That's
I'll tell you this: when Charles came to the class, I was cooking on my J3, my Jambo, and a drum, right, Charles?
Yes, sir.
And that was when I introduced my 700-degree chicken. It was wide open. It was pegged out. There was nothing there. Was it 30, 35 minutes? I mean, it was just as hot as it can be.
Yep.
So, but I told him, I said, no matter whatever you're cooking on, I will help you. If you're cooking on all drums, pellet grills, smokers, they're all going to have a different flavor. So not all rub profiles work on that type of cooker. If you have a small thing, the way a drum comes up doesn't taste the same on a brisket as an offset smoker with that same rub profile. You have to tweak that a little bit. So I tell everybody, and the one thing I tell everybody in the class in Charleston is, you can't be a recipe. You have to be a cook. You got to be a cook first and a recipe second. So you have to make it your own, and that's what Charles has done. He's done a very good job of that, taking bits and pieces.
700-degree chicken. Is that when you burn that drum?
Well, that was just last year. Oh shit! I mean, come on, man. I smoked that son of a bitch up when I'm talking to Trig.
Chef Greg from RecTex.
Look at old Chefy boy. Hey, he wants my liquid smoke recipe. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. Shout out to Chef Greg from RecTex, right there, the man, the myth.
But I tell you, man, we had a first place chicken at RecTex Academy on a bullseye.
Did you win? Did you win?
I did not win the overall, but me and my group won first place chicken.
All right. Well, you've done some first.
I think we were guys, third overall.
We are going to give out some tips. I am going to ask them. I know Aaron. I think everybody would like a brisket tip from Aaron and Charles. I asked him earlier, what's your go-to meat right now? And pork. And obviously he had a 200 pork. So let's do that right now, Charles. If you have one or two kind of tips for pork for the people that are watching out there, we're still, Texas, I think, has learned pork, but a lot of these guys are still new to the comp game, and if they cook in CBA, they're going to be presented with a pork contest. You got anything you want to offer, a tip or two for a pork?
So one of the things I learned from Aaron, I always put pulled on the bottom of my box, money muscle on top, and for the two reasons. They go in there with one fork. They can dig down and get a piece of the money muscle and pulled at the same time. And that pulled helps keep your money muscle warm. It may not be the prettiest box in the world, and I honestly think it's an ugly box. But to get a perfect score on it, I'm like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. My wife,
Wasn't that ugly?
you know, it works all kinds of ways. And then my biggest thing is
don't listen to Eddie. He's full of shit.
Yeah, don't listen.
I'll tell you this. Well, let Charles talk.
Yeah, he said he got one more. Go ahead.
I run a vinegar sauce on my pork, and it's
get a little tang. Get a little tang in it.
Oh, he puts that dill pickle juice in that shit.
No. We drink that shit. Those Texas pickles.
You put that just pickle juice in that shit. Change the game.
Anna said a heart shape really gets a good appearance score. I believe that too, as well.
Yep.
It does.
Well. So, a little pulled on the bottom, get some of that, retain a little bit at that heat,
or chopped,
and fill the box. There you go. All right, that's a great tip for those that are watching and listening out there. There's one tip out there, Aaron. I know everybody wants a brisket tip from you, bro. First place, all over.
Use Texas oil dust on it. That's what you do. No, I'll be honest with you. The one thing that I can tell you that will separate a brisket from anybody is your tenderness. It doesn't matter what rub you put on the top of that brisket. I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter if you use salt and pepper, if you use my rubs, Phil's rubs, anybody. It doesn't matter how you put the rub profile on. I think it's all about the ending, the last 10, 15 minutes of that brisket, and it's the tenderness of it. And we all know that the competitions are won in the last finishing moments, right? You can either screw it up or you can make it better. But I'm learning that we went overtime. IBCA was always multiple rounds, and that's what we cooked. Lone Star was multiple rounds. So if you were cooking from pre-2020 or 21, you knew how to cook a piece of meat to make it last 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And so we have that leg up a little bit because if you learn how to do it then, you can still do it now. But the thing is that now that most barbecue competitions, KCBS, CBA, they go to a 1 bite round, then you have to learn that tenderness scale is a little bit different. So it's kind of like going to a restaurant to an extent. So if you turn around and you do certain little bitty things, that tenderness of it, the texture, the way it feels in your mouth, if it's mushy, it can be a turnoff. If it's got a nice little bite to it, kind of a few degrees early, it can maybe help you out. But not all places are like that. You have to know where you're going. You got to know your atmosphere. You got to know your surrounding area, because not everyone is always going to be doing that. But that tenderness scale, that's a huge thing. I mean, it's huge, because I can cook a mushy brisket to make it go 5 rounds, but I can also cook a brisket to make it go 1 round. And so you have to learn how to do that. And I think once you master your tenderness and your texture, the rest of it is just a piece of cake. It's just what you're doing normally.
That's a great point, because flavors, subjective, but that tenderness, you got to nail that in each and
every rub has garlic, salt, pepper, and then like 1,700. Like it's like KFC. It's like, what is it, 32 spices or whatever?
It's 11.
KFC.
It's 11 herbs and
spices. Yeah, I heard it was 13. Really, it's all said and done. But yes, Dwayne, I did try strawberries.
They've been lying to us if it's 13.
But I'm just saying is we all watch Foods That Built America. We really saw that shit. It's on the door frame up there. But no, I mean, the whole thing is really everybody has the same ingredients. There might be a few tweaks and twizzles here and there, but it's how you produce it. It's what are you doing to it. So that I think at the end of the day,
turning good food.
Yeah, sir.
I said at the end of the day, you turn in good food.
Just turning good food.
All right,
screw it up.
Put it in the box.
Charles, I was going to ask Aaron, but I already know, because he told the story of that first place brisket at San Antonio. Charles, you've been doing it 2015. What's your most memorable moment up to now doing this thing?
Okay. It was probably all the people that I started with here in Wichita Falls. We used to have an event called Dead Cow. And it was here in Wichita Falls. And we went to that event. There was 25, 27 cooks. somewhere in that neighborhood, and I ended up getting my first hat trick. And that was probably pretty amazing. Along with my first hat trick, I got a first place steak on top of that. So it was actually, that was one of the times I'm like, man, I did really good.
You know, I like to say that they only gave 4 first place trophies away, and I kind of took them all home. You know.
Yeah, you know,
I mean,
you know, the other one was Panther Island Pavilion. You know, that was my first big cook, like big. It 120 teams, 120 something teams, and I pulled off a first place rib. You know, and Woody Woodson was the one that came up to me and he said, "Dude, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't cook, that you can't compete." And that was exciting for me. I remember going to get my check, and I was like shaking, trying to sign the freaking paperwork.
Right.
It was crazy for me, you know.
The last question I got for both of you guys, mentality. How big of a factor do you think mental aspect plays into what we do? Like showing up, arriving at a contest, where your mental state is. How big of a factor does that play? And I'll start with Charles first. Charles, what do you think about that? You know, where your mental game is before even arriving. Maybe it affects you 2 days before you even arrive.
90% of the people that know me know that I'm generally the first person on site. I don't like to have to maneuver around people. So I want to come in, get my spot, and be done. Mentality, I go into it with the fact that I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to cook the best I can cook. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I like it. It matters if the judges like it. I'm a real nervous person when it comes to awards. You'll probably see me pacing, standing up, walking around, whatever. And it's because people awe me, you know, like Aaron said, you know, he felt like it was an even mix over there at Weatherford. My biggest thing is I seen the biggest people that were there. And I've always kind of taught myself that if you want to be the best, you got to cook against the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I try to hit events like that.
So do you think that gives you an advantage, or just what you do about arriving early?
Me arriving early is more of a
logistics thing.
Yeah, that, you know, because I'm in Wichita Falls. Most of the cooks I do with CBA, as anybody knows, there's not a whole lot of CBA cooks in North Texas. So I really enjoy CBA. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the walk-up songs. Awards are just freaking amazing. And it makes you feel good. It makes you want to cheer for, it don't matter who wins. You know, you just enjoy it. And so most of my arriving early has to do with logistics, yes.
All right.
I leave early because it's a long way to drive.
Ron, the question goes to you. What about how much of a mental aspect does that play into you? Maybe, go ahead.
I miss it to an extent because when I first started cooking back in 15, it was just family. I didn't know competition barbecue. I didn't know. I remember Barbecue Pitmasters came out, and I saw the guys on that show, and it was all good. And when you get to meet one, you know, and talk to them, whatever, it's like, oh man, I can't believe this. I'm fanboying over here, kind of shit. But the 15, 16, 17, I was trying to figure some things out, trying to learn how to cook, and spent a lot of money trying to figure this out.
Fucking Colleen.
And when you sit there and you start seeing people, you're excited. Oh my God, I want to talk to this guy, but I don't want to bother him, you know. So as you get more comfortable in the environment that you're in, you used to try harder because, you wanted to beat somebody. And I can tell you this one small story. Junior Arias from Midland, he was on Barbecue Pitmasters, and we went to Lubbock Lake up here, and he was right across from us. And I'm sitting here, and I'm out there. I'm offset smoker. I built it, I got my camper out there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm watching this guy, and he's on a Myron Mixon smoker, gravity feed, and he's just chilling. He's just doing his thing. And I looked over there and said, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen today, but I'm going to beat that guy at something. And I was so determined because he was a big name in barbecue at the time. And everyone knew Junior. He was on the show. So all I could think about, this superstar, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to beat him today in something. And I hit a second place brisket that day. My first time to ever break a top 5 brisket. And I was sitting there and I was like, I got him, and I did. I beat him in brisket. And I was so ecstatic because it was a big name in barbecue and I beat this guy in brisket. So as time goes on, you lose that inner feeling of wanting to beat somebody. You lose the competition drive of, oh my God, so-and-so is here. And I just want to beat that guy. He's a big name. I want to beat him. And so I think as we get more comfortable in barbecue, we start to lose the drive that got us here in the first place because it becomes more repetition. It becomes more settled in, right? It's the same routine, the same recipe, the same moments and movements like a clock all day long, right? We light the fires at 4:30. Well, not you, Rob. You're at 12 o'clock in the morning. You're turning chicken. It's like it's already cooked. So,
7:30.
I've seen you wake up at 8:30. So, anyways, so you're sitting there. Some of us are doing it at 4:30. Some of us at 9:30, like you, Rob. And all these little things are going on. I think over time we get comfortable in the environment we're in, that we forget what got us there to begin with, and it was trying to beat somebody or trying to do better than somebody. And so I remember going to cook-offs and people were like, that's Aaron Leslie, the target on your back kind of thing. Because back in 19, me and Lee Hickle were going back for first and second in IBCA, and it was like, you lose the drive to be better than. And you want to be better than somebody because you obviously want to win. But what happens when you start winning more and more and more? So you have 70, 80, 90 reserve and grand champions. What do you do after that? Where's the drive? So I can see that, where I used to be and now that I am, it's like, man, where do you want to, what do you want to do? So,
there it is right there.
Hey, that's it. That's it. All last year I thought to myself, damn, I got to beat Rob. That's something that's kicking my ass and chicken and ribs. He's getting these 200s all over the place. Who's he paying? So, you get going and you're like,
look at that guy. Look at that.
But yeah, that's the whole thing is that I think over time we lose the drive and we become more consistent in what we're doing.
Producer Ty working his magic back there.
Man,
okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Man, I'm not there yet.
When you roll up, where's the warm fuzzies?
I still look forward to beating you, Aaron, or beating.
Well, and I'm gonna look forward to beating you, Charles. Obviously, I think overall, as there's probably 40 cooks in the state of Texas that cook every weekend. I'm gonna throw a number out there. It could be 10, it could be 20, but I think you lose the drive to excel, and we get so consistent in that rut, that pattern, that we forget to experiment like we did 5-10 years ago. So that's my take on that.
There's Peter right there, steak champion. Find that goal and shoot for it. Yeah, it is fun to, I don't know about fun, but it does give you, if people are competitive, they're going to find that chip, right? They're going to find that one thing that's going to drive them. Bill right now is the hottest guy out there. He's got a target on his back. Everybody wants to beat him right now. And if you're out there competing and if you see Bill at a contest, hey, you got to be on your A game. And it happens all the time. I was talking about the mental aspect as far as, Charles, you kind of mentioned it when you go to a contest, you have seen the teams that are around there, and Aaron, you have goals that you want to accomplish. to me, a mental thing is, just feel like you're the guy, right? Just feel like you're the guy out there that they want to beat. And it's different. And it's definitely changed for me in the last couple of years to change that mental aspect as far as who's there. Now I don't really care who's there. In fact, it's just, we know as cooks, got to cook good food and get lucky, right? So it doesn't really matter who's there. You just got to do your thing. Make sure you hit your marks. Make sure you're in the right mental state when you go to a contest and do your thing. And if it
do you know who your worst you know who your worst competitor is?
Yourself, for sure.
Yourself. You are your worst competitor because you will talk yourself out of a GC in 3.2 seconds. You'll look at this whole speed rail full of shit. You'll be like, maybe I ought to put some, and then you'll start adding stuff that you don't normally do because you think you need it because you're trying to go for first place. I don't want first place.
Hey, but we're not all Kent Polk.
I don't want first place. I mean, I will take a first place trophy every day of the week, and I love first place trophies. Don't get me wrong. It sucks waiting 9 calls to get to first place because you're like, man, I just blew this shit. But I will take a second, a third, or a fifth any day of the week because it's over with. The draw to get there, but you will talk yourself out of a win faster than you will talk yourself into a win.
I've been there. Hey, it's like, I don't want to hear my name yet. And then whenever it's all said and done, I don't hear my name. And I'm like, well, shit, that sucks.
Yeah.
Right. But it happens at a contest and we got to appreciate the wins. There's so many good teams out there. I love this comment from Eddie right here, man. Funny. When I was new, I didn't know everyone. And I was at a cook-off and I saw Robert Smith and went to my trailer telling my girl, oh shit, Aaron Leslie's here.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Lee Hickle has one of the best stories because we went to Alice, Texas. Me, Tommy Smith, and Paul Whitaker drove all the way down to Alice. And when I pulled in, Lee was on the phone, and I think he was talking to Phil, if I'm not mistaken, because he told me this. He's like, I looked over and I went, holy shit, Aaron Leslie is here. I mean, he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, dude, it's a cook-off. You are not in your area. So there's nobody. And this is the closest one. It's 9-hour drive. We're sitting there doing this, and Lee is like, man, I just cannot. And I heard him say this when I got out. You're not gonna believe this. Aaron Leslie's here, and then that was it. And that was a good day for us because me, Paul, and Tommy had a very good day there. They were like, oh, I just can't believe it. Matter of fact, Tommy GC that son of a bitch, and that was it. But I mean, it was just like when you hear those things, it excites you because it wants you to do good. But then you hear, negative comments too, and it kind of sucks, because never listen to a barbecue cook because they'll get in your head worse than anybody. And so it's kind of like, you're sitting there and you're doing your thing. But if you can just get over all of the aspects and cook your food the way you cook it and just block the rest of it out, you probably have a pretty good day. But if you let anybody else get around you and distract you, and if you're not very good with crowds and people, whatever it is, you just got to do your thing. So it's be a cook, not a recipe, and go out there and try to win one. Oh shit! What happened? You're off.
I muted myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I like this comment from Kent with Daddy Dutch Barbecue. I only take the specific rubs for each protein to a comp. Less temptation to jazz it up. I was that guy. I would take, hey, this might be good today, right? And so you don't know if it was good or whatnot because sometimes
Rob, you were
at that point. Oh, I was.
You and I were on the deal last night. Roddy Trevino made a comment, right? He said, "I want to talk about this finishing rub Aaron made." And Chuck Long and I sat there, and I said, "Chuck, I have an idea." Before the San Antonio Rodeo on Friday night, I said, "I have an idea. I want to put this rub together, and let's just see how it tastes." Right out of the box, he threw it together. He did what I asked him to do. He mixed it all up. We tasted it, and I asked Sarah Trevino and Roddy, a few others to taste it, and immediately, it had this flavor, and Sarah's like, this is great. And Roddy made this comment. He's like, man, that would be good on brisket. And I ran that as my finishing dust on brisket in San Antonio Rodeo, and I've been running it ever since. I'm just saying that it's got 4 good calls on it in the last 5 runs, and so I mean I can't really describe it, but there was a comment on here that says I only take certain rubs for certain proteins. I don't do nothing else. If you don't think outside the box and you don't mix some things up last minute out of a whim, you will never experience what might be. You have to just kind of throw some things out there and say, hey, that tastes pretty good, or it doesn't taste good, but you got to be ballsy enough to want to just throw it at a comp, because why? I have nothing to lose. Exactly. I don't practice at home. I don't do anything. I have nothing to lose. I just go to a comp. I try something new. If it works, it works. It don't, it don't.
That's the best place to practice, in my opinion.
For sure.
Because it's going to tell you if it works or not.
I asked Phil one time about practice, and he said only practice just teaches you what not to do, right? And I was back when pork was new to CBA. I was experimenting and doing some practice runs with pork, and I remember injecting it with Worcestershire. How do you say it? Worcester sauce, right? And I injected my pork with that, a little mixture of that and some apple juice and some other stuff, and it everywhere I injected it left a freaking black spot in everything. And so that's what you learn when you practice, what not to do, right? It's not going to give you a taste score, and it's not going to give you an appearance score or anything like that. It's just going to teach you, hey, this doesn't work. I probably shouldn't try this at a competition. And then, practice is great. If you want to hit your marks and hit your timing and do that, if you're practicing, chicken thighs right now and you're not a chicken thigh guy, we're all, a lot of chicken halves here in Texas, and you want to try legs or thighs, for all means, go ahead and practice. But it's going to, that is some high dollar practice at a competition. But yeah, that's practice for sure. Do that, if you want to hit your marks and you get your timing down and stuff like that. But it's not going to tell you if that tastes good. It's not going to tell you, if a judge likes it or whatnot. That's where you get your scores, and that's where you get your your knowledge as far as, what works and what doesn't work at a competition. So practice just teaches you what doesn't work,
Well, who's going to judge it? I mean, so I made a recipe up one day, and I cooked 2 racks of ribs, 2 different directions. And so I go out there on the Jambo, I throw it on the top shelf, we do our thing, I come in and wrap it. 3 hours later, they're done. And then, okay, so my daughter and my wife, they taste it. Well, we like this one. We don't like this one. Okay, great. So, I mean, that's 2 opinions, but the opinion doesn't matter what you're doing unless you go straight to the contest and you throw it out there in front of 30 or 40 people. And that's what I did. The very next weekend, I threw it out there. I was like, look, this is going to be for Saturday. I threw it out there. I tried something new, and it was a first place rib, 40, 50 cooks, and it paid off. But I did it one time. I've only practiced one meat one time. No, that's wrong. But yes, I mean, I cook wings at home all the time, so I'm always trying for new things from KSBS, CBA. But I did some racks of ribs, and it's the only time I practiced in 3 years at the house was 2 racks of ribs. One of them I liked. I threw it out there and see if it stuck, and it did. So I don't practice at home. I cook barbecue 5 days a week here at the restaurant. I don't want to go home and cook. I just don't want to do it. So I don't eat barbecue anymore. I don't want it. But, I mean, it's just like you taste it. You get some ideas. You think, well, this might work. So that's where the panty dropper came from.
Keep that one up, Ty. I like what Joe said. Your friends will always tell you it's good when you practice. They will. It's like, this is great. This and they probably feel that way. They've gone to a lot of local establishments or whatnot, and when you put something like that in front of them, they're going to tell you, and they're probably telling you the truth. It's great. It's the best thing they've ever had, but you don't know.
Free food always tastes good.
True. And you don't know until it goes through the rigors of the whole process of boxing it and then not getting eaten for 15, 20 minutes after you did box that thing. And so it's different, right? It's always different. And they are telling you the truth. That probably is the best thing, but.
Well, and I always tell people that they try my food and say, that's the best damn rib I've ever had. You know what? I said, go to a competition, and then there's going to be 15 or 20 of the best ribs you've ever had. Then you've got to decide which one is actually the best. That's what's crazy, because everybody cooks so similar, but yet the taste is so far apart.
Yeah, I learned that. I didn't learn that. I've known it for a little while now, but I was, y'all know I've been doing pretty well in ribs, and went to Houston and finished 65th. And man, I was proud of those ribs. I thought they were for sure going to be a finalist rib, and 65th. And people are like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's just the game. It's the game we play. I love Martin, Ty Cobb. I love Ty's. Right? We talking about practice, not the game. We talking about practice. That's a famous Allen Iverson quote.
That's the only time you can really find out if practice is going to pay off. I'm going to tell you this: most of us only try something new at a cook-off.
Yep.
Why? Because we have nothing to lose. We're there. We donated our money. It's either going to happen or it's not. But you're not talking about a whole horizon in the sky full of something completely new. Not everybody does that. You're talking about tweaks. You're talking about a flavor, maybe a little twist in this, a little shake of that. A little bit of this. I mean, a little sweeter, not sweeter. A little bit of backyard flavor. So, I mean, the things you might have an idea about doesn't mean that you're completely throwing away the whole recipe and you're starting fresh. There are guys that do that. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I think on a Saturday morning when you woke up, you already had an idea that you wanted to just maybe just tweak it. So on Friday night, you sat there and made a tweak or a big tweak. So
I got another thing to throw at you guys. You guys are accomplished cooks, and my chicken last year was on fire. It was top 10 every contest. I went multiple first place chickens in the last 4 months or so. After that first place chicken at Uvalde back in December 10th, it was. Shout out to the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads in Uvalde. First place chicken. I have not walked in chicken since that day, and I'm not running anything different. It's just, things change. And so my question to you guys is, how long do you let it ride? How long do you stay with that same thing, even though it's proven it walked all year in 22, 23 so far? Not so much. It's when do you I'm still going to throw it out. I'm still going to throw it at them. A lot of things have changed since then too. Now we have not just half chickens. We have, pieces now. So I'm thinking about doing some pieces as well, instead of just doing the half chicken. I think it's changing, but how long do you let it ride? Right. It's something that's proven, something that's been your money maker for a little while.
Throw it whole year, Charles. Let him have it.
Okay. So like Phil tells me, run it till the wheels fall off.
Well, the wheels have fallen off at the moment.
Well, then change it.
Yeah.
So I tell you, man, I mean, I was given some advice from J.D. Henley, one of the top cooks in the U.S. for many years. And he said, Aaron, you go 4 or 5 times, you don't get a call, you better make a tweak, because all you're doing is just wasting money. I said, okay. So I can say that we went through a lot in the last 3 or 4 years, right? We went from 2019, man, bold, exotic, things were just running good, strong, that kind of stuff. And 20 COVID hits. Everybody loses taste buds. Everybody can't taste nothing. We still have judges out there judging barbecue that still can't taste a damn saltine cracker. They think, a Ruffles tastes like a loaf of bread. So nobody knows what's going on because everybody's taste buds are whack. They're screwed up. So it takes a couple of years for something to pass, right? Just like oil and gas. It goes up every 5 years, it drops for 2 years, it comes back up. So taste buds, COVID, throw out this, a bunch of shots, and all this other shit's going on. Next thing you know, things are kind of slowly tweening them back to kind of normal, right? But we're all seasonal cooks. There's nobody 12 months out of the year that's banging it out. There is not a one cook in this world that's knocking GCs 12 months out of the year. If there is, prove me wrong and tell me who that is. There's not one person that's a seasonal cook that's 12 months out of the year. So you have your moments. No, you can't do that. I love Bill, but he will tell you the same thing. There's certain times of the year that he's not as strong as he was at certain times. And I mean, I love everybody, but I'm trying to prove my point is that there's going to be 2 or 3, 4 months out of the year that you just don't quite slam it. You're there, you're kind of in the mix, but you may not be as strong as you was the other 8 months out of the year. So trying to be a 12-month out of the year cook, it's hard to do. And we're all chasing that goal. Me, Phil, Fred, Bill, Robert, everyone's trying to be that 12-month out of the year cook. And there's guys on that path right now that are trying to be that way.
Yeah.
The
Bill made a
problem
great.
with is
I'll come right real quick. I can practice. I can get a first place brisket and still change it the following weekend. That's maybe how you stay on the curve. I don't know. I think you run with what gotcha.
There's about 3 months out of the year that I'm not strong. Come September, October, November, or maybe even October, November, December, I'll probably fall off. But about the end of January, my flavors come back on, and I'll hit to about August, September, and then it kind of tapers back off. So we're all trying to find that other 4 months of the year that we're really strong. And when you figure out how to flip the channel, man, then you got it made. So I think overall 4 or 5 times, and the chicken hasn't hit, your brisket hasn't hit. It's not, you got to change the whole brisket, man, or the whole chicken. Just tweak it, a tablespoon of this, or, a little wildcatter in this, or a little old dust on that, a little barnyard. I'm just kidding. That, I mean, that's the whole thing. And, I go about 5. I went 8 weeks. I went 8 weeks from probably October after the Royal, and then I hit 11th place at the Jack in chicken. Me, Gary, and Corey, and we hit 11th place chicken, and Zach, and then that was it. And then from say November, December, I went about 8 weeks roughly and no chicken calls until I went to Pierre Park. And then it was hit a perfect 200. It was all it was is the same recipe. I just made a slight seasoning change. And so it was I added something to the profile, or I doubled this, or I diluted this, so I mean, and then all of a sudden it was Pierre Park, and then it was Uvalde, it was Chupacabra, and it was these things kind of go
What's up,
on.
Brian? How are you, bub? Go ahead.
So, I mean, overall that time, and Uvalde hit, and then, January come, they're still within champions, that we did the champions event there in Seguin, and it was I got another call, and I got another call, and it was I just made a small tweak, but I went 8 weeks with no chicken call. I had brisket, ribs, and pork, but I did not have a chicken call. And you got to have chicken. Chicken's got to show up most of the times to win. Not all the time, but most of the time. So it was a small tweak. And now when one meat comes up, one meat falls off.
Exactly.
Now I will say, what I said about the chicken and not hitting right now. I've talked to Bill about this as well. Justin has a good question. Aaron, does that mindset have something to do with the cooking and the same cooks at the same time of year?
It could, because you obviously have been to that zip code before, right? So not all of us cook multiple zip codes. Some of us only cook the West Texas region, or the North Texas region, or the South Texas region. We don't always cook the same area. When you're a cook who's cooking all over the state, it's harder to try to trap that flavor, because you took the same flavor to North Texas, the same flavor to East Texas, the same flavor to West Texas. So sometimes, because you've already been there, you run the same thing. I'm going to go back to what I did, because just like Charles Weatherford, he probably ran the same stuff he ran last year to GC it. But he knew that. But had he went to Seguin or Houston or Tomball, he might have changed a little bit. He could have tweaked it. He might not have. I don't know. So I think because where you're cooking, the zip code in the area, and then you were smart enough to watch the judges come in, you profiled those judges beforehand, you might have known that don't go extra salty, or don't add that tweak to it, or keep it kind of mellow and smooth. So, I mean, I think you have to know your area code. You have to know your area that you're in. And if you do it multiple times, you're going to know what to do and what not to do.
All right. Shout out to Willie Richards watching, tweaking my pizza.
Yeah, if there's a pizza category, this motherfucker's going to win it.
He's doing a newest sponsor of the So Smoking Gooder Show, K&R Pipeline. Thank you, Willie Richards, for checking in tonight. What I was saying about, and there's a lot of accomplished cooks in there. I'm looking at them right now. There's a lot of people that cook and do this week in, week out, like Charles and Aaron do, and myself on the barbecue circuit. What I was saying about the chicken thing, and when it's time to maybe tweak or move on from something that is proven. Now, I had a question for everybody in the chat right now. Like I said, that last first place chicken and the last call I had in the top 10 was first place in a 150 team event in Uvalde, Texas, at the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, December. Since then, I've only done over 100 team cook-offs since then. I have yet to see anything under 77, which is the hold 'em and hit 'em contest. So, I mean, I expect to do well in those big contests as well, or get lucky. I mean, I've had some rib walks. I've had, multiple rib walks, but does that play in a factor? 150 teams, 200
Well,
teams, 298
let's
teams,
go-
256 teams. Does that play in a
Go
factor
back
when
to
you're not
Uvalde.
walking in chicken?
It does. Go back to Uvalde. Now, you and I had a conversation right before you popped that perfect 200.
This man.
Now, right?
second
So we had we had like $7 on this bet, right? So anybody wants to know, we have a bet, but amongst friends, it's $1 bill. It's bragging rights, but you have to sign that $1 bill, chicken champ.
Yep.
And this motherfucker right here comes in last minute and says, I'm on first place chicken this thing, and writes first place chicken on the back, and I get a 12. I'm excited because now we're down to second and nobody's gotten a call, and I'm fixing to win this $7. I'm going to brag about this thing. Oh, Rob says, I ain't got a call yet. They ain't called first place yet. I'm like, good rib call, Rob. Congratulations on that rib. And then they hit first place for chicken, and it was Rob. I was like, fuck, man, this bullshit. But I lost my $1, But I mean, he called it on the back of that $1 bill. He called it the night before, but it was just because he's confident, and you're consistent and you're confident because he was coming off of.
That's what I was talking
thing.
about. Confidence is a major factor in how you approach these things. My chicken confidence level was through the fucking roof, and I wrote it. What I wrote on that $1 bill was first place chicken, bitches.
He did. He did.
And
Straight up.
And it wound
And
up being.
it was in my trailer, and they go in there and get that $1 bill. He's like, hey, he took a picture of it. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
I still have it. First place. I should put it back here. You know what?
It needs to be on the wall, man. It got to be on the wall.
It needs to go on the wall because, confidence level. That's why I asked that confidence question earlier. Like, how big of a mental aspect is that? And I think it's a huge mental aspect. Like right now, I wasn't planning on cooking this weekend, but I am going. And that is kind of fucked me up. Mentally, when you're going to a contest, you get ready mentally the week before. I wasn't planning on going to this until Sunday. And now, I should be fine, but I was already mentally checked out, right? I wasn't cooking until next weekend in Victoria, but now I am cooking this weekend. And mentally, I'm not there. I should have been where I was going to be next weekend. Now I got to be there this weekend. And maybe that sounds stupid to some people, but to me, it matters. And so it's a deal. And I haven't been as successful in these bigger contests right now, So, I've had some big walks. I've had some big moments in some of these biggest stages, but something about it. That's why I asked about the mental game. Something about it right now is just not right with me.
My theory is this: if you have an old pit that you're cooking on, right? It's just an old backyard pit that you built, but it's not a competition pit. It's not a Jambo. It's not a JP. It's not an Outlaw. It's not a Gateway drum. Not shiny, not beautiful, not perfect. But say you love this pit so much that you're excited to cook on it. And you go out there and you do a great job. Okay. So you do a good job and you say you're in the top 10. Man, you're pumped, you're there. Then you got this other guy next to you that's cooking on this pit. He's like, man, I really don't like my pit. I've been looking at another one. And I just don't like it too much. It doesn't do this and do that. But I really like that pit right there. That guy has already lost half the game. His mental aspect is focused on how much he doesn't like the smoker that he's cooking on and how much he likes somebody else's. So he's already lost half the game. If you are unconfident, your confidence game is down because your chicken or your ribs or your brisket isn't hitting. You go into that contest, chances are your chicken, whatever meat that you're not confident about is not going to make the final table because you already lost that mental aspect of it when you drove up in the parking lot because you done told yourself, I'm done. My chicken fell off 7-8 months ago and I haven't found one yet, but yet you're still running the same recipe. You're still running the same stuff because you're running an April chicken in the middle of October, November. So if you're not confident when you walked into something and cocky, you can't be cocky and arrogant. You just got to be a little cocky because you know for a fact that this is what my game is. I'm confident in my barbecue. If you have that aspect, no matter what you cook on, no matter where you go, no matter who is there, you're probably going to do pretty good. If not win the thing, but you have to enjoy what you're doing 100%.
Yep.
This has been a great show, man. This has been an amazing show. A lot of good information has been had right now. Justin West made a comment. I agree, Rob. Oh, 1 second, Ty. Break on routine make a big difference for me. Yeah, it does. That's where kind of where I'm at right now. Says her mind fuck. Anna, I'm going to Beeville to answer your question. She's going to cook in an Alvin. Congrats. Good luck. Go kick the butt out there. Let's see what Kathy Tant. That's the wife, right? Yeah, look at that right there. That's how you win. Some of y'all forget that you love cooking. She makes a great point right there. I haven't even read the rest. So just go and do it. Believe in yourself. Don't worry about it. Have confidence in yourself and enjoy in the moment. Yep. Mic drop, Aaron. Sarah mentioned that. Let's go. El Barrio, I'm going to do my last non-sanctioned competition in April and jump into CBA. Should I judge first before competing? It will not hurt you. Go check it out and see what they're looking for. Greg Minotti, confidence and being pumped up about a cook has always helped me, I believe. Being extremely zoned in and confidence makes you believe.
Has anybody out there in the Facebook world that's out there listening to this right now ever had a dream that you woke up and said, I dreamed I won this contest and went and won? I have.
Yes, sir.
I went to Lovington, New Mexico last year for 21, and I woke up that morning at 4:30. I had to go to work and get ready to go. And I was like, you know what? I told my wife, I was like, I had a dream last night, and I won this cook-off this weekend. I'm going down there to win. I'm going to the Jack. It's an auto qualifier, and I'm going to the Jack. But I dreamed that I won that cook-off, and I fucking won that son of a bitch. But that's the one thing is that I'm just curious if anybody has ever had a dream that they won that cook-off they were going to, and they won it. Because it would be nice to know somebody else is out there. I mean, I might be a psychic. You never know. Got some Indian spirits in me or some shit. But
man, I woke up last Saturday morning saying I'm going to get this first place rib again.
There you go.
And
You're confident when you woke up. You got out of bed, put your shoes on, your walking shoes on, and you went and walked.
Yeah.
I always wake up at 9 and say, "Let's win this bitch." Let's see what time it goes. Daddy Dutch says, Dad always says it's not bragging if you can do it. And Kid Rock says it's not bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. Just saying.
Exactly.
100%.
So what you need to change, Rob, is you need to quit saying let's win this bitch and I'm going to win this bitch. You got to change the word let's to I'm. See, you got to get more confident.
Okay. I felt I was.
I'm going to win this motherfucker, bitches.
Exactly. Because let's is your buddies.
Somebody asked what we cook on. I cook on a drum smokers and Rectex. Aaron?
I cook on a Jambo, a drum, and a Rectech 340.
Charles?
Straight drums.
Straight drums. Joey Smith, cooks are worried about drum smokers are better than stick burners, pellets, and such. Yeah, don't worry about anybody else's what they got going on. It's
flavor is flavor. It doesn't really matter. So you got to be consistent. So,
guys, this has been a great show. I want y'all to stick around. I got the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap. We're going to celebrate some of these guys that are in the comments right now. And we're going to do the upcoming event segment so that you have a moment to figure out where you want to go this weekend. All right. Speaking of the upcoming events this weekend in the Champions Barbecue Alliance in Gatesville. Where did Aaron go? Let me remove him. In Gatesville, Texas, we got the Gatesville, Texas Station Spring Fest. Over in Alvin, we got the Alvin Music Fest. And in Beeville, we got the Beeville Spring Fest. That's where I will be cooking this weekend in Beeville. And in Edinburgh, Texas, we got the Harvest Christian Academy Cook-Off. Over in the IBCA, we got the 3rd annual John Heibner Memorial Cook-Off in Shiner. We got the ABC Pro Rodeo Barbecue Cook-Off in Levelland. We got the ATX Barbecue Showdown in Austin, Texas. And we got the Comfort Little League Opening Day Cook-Off in Comfort, Texas. And we got the DCJRA Benefit Barbecue Cook-Off in Carrizo Springs, Texas. And we got the NG Barbecue Contest in Normandy, Texas. All right. Lots going on IBCA. They got 6 events this weekend. Good job, IBCA. All right, over in the Lone Star, we got the 53rd annual Texas Men's State Chili and Barbecue Cook-Off in Granite Shoals, Texas. CTBA in Troy, Texas. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Corby is mentioning the Central Texas Barbecue Association. They have a CTABA cook-off in Troy, Texas. All right, there you go. And over in the Outlaw, that's for Case. Do it, Charles. You know the pew, pew, pew. No, he does not. No, he does not. There it is, Ty. Ty's checking in. There he is. Producer Ty with the pew, pew, pew. All right, Outlaw Barbecue Association. We got the Risket for the Brisket in Gilmore, Texas. All right, lots of events going on. That's 1, 2. And the Central Texas has another one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 contests in Texas. And they say competition barbecue is on the decline. I do not believe that, people. I do not believe that. What's like? Yeah, is this the weekend, Kevin, that Eddie and Lisa get married? Congratulations to the Pit Father Barbecue and Lisa. Eddie Morales
Eddie.
and Lisa, they're getting married this weekend. I think this is the weekend that they are getting married. All right, let's pull this down and let's go for the oh, hold on. I got to do something. There it is. All right, we're going to do the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap. Last weekend there were no events in the Champions Barbecue Alliance, but there were 4 in the IBCA 10th annual. Is it Grunau Cook-Off? Grand champion was Grady Speed from Grade A Barbecue, and the RGC was Samantha Daniel from Buckle Up Barbecue. That possibly could have been Brody Daniel, the young man from Buckle Up Barbecue. I'm not 100% sure, but if somebody can clarify that, if it's that so, congratulations, Samantha and Brody. Over in the 10th annual Iola Barbecue Cook-Off, the grand champion was our good friend, and he kicked off 2023 for the Smoking Gooder Show. That's Brody. Congratulations, Brody. It was Jamie Roby from Texas Smoke. Congratulations, Jamie. RGC, James Ellis from Wildebeest Barbecue. Jamie is one of the finest guys in our sport. He's a great guy, hilarious, just a helpful man out there. So, Jamie, congratulations for that grand championship at the 10th annual Iola Barbecue Cook-Off. Barbecue Masters and Cornhole Battle. That sounds kind of sexual, Aaron. I don't know. Barbecue Masters Cornhole Battle. Grand champion was Tommy Smith from Bent Nail Barbecue. That's a good friend of yours, Aaron.
Team Old Dust, baby.
There you go. Team Old Dust. RGC Anthony Montez from Nenya Q Barbecue. We have the guns
does good too.
You know Anthony as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he took my class last year.
There you go. Bo Daniel says Brody tore it up last weekend, first place chicken. All right, nice. Guns and Hoses Cooking for the Kids. Grand champion was Dub Ewing. I saw him. He was commenting earlier. Secondhand Smoke. And the RGC was Bubba Garrett from Twisted Pitsters.
You got to watch old Bubba. Old Bubba sneak in there. He kicked your
All
ass.
right. I like it. I like that you know some of the guys that we don't know on this side of the Texas here.
Yeah, that's all.
You have to go past. You have to go past I-10 to the burrito country if you're going to learn these guys' names, Rob.
I've been to West Texas. I've cooked in West Texas. Done well in West Texas.
These guys aren't West Texas. These guys are north of Interstate 10.
Yeah, Wichita Falls, both of them.
Well, there you go. There it is. Over in the Lone Star Barbecue Society, the Clear Lake Elks Lodge, grand champion, our good friend Greg Minotti from Drop Tine Smoke. Congratulations. RGC, Caleb Warden. I saw him in the comments. I saw both of them in the comments. Kicking Cajun Smokehouse in Weatherford, the Barnyard Cook-Off. No longer a secret, everybody. We got the grand champion, Patrick Wiltsey from Blue Suede Barbecue.
Wilkes.
Is it Wilkes?
Wilkes.
All right, what do y'all know about Patrick? He's coming along right now.
He's a cook.
Man, I'll tell you, the first time I cooked against him was in Brownwood, and he got a hat trick, first, and Man, I got like a second. But when they got down to brisket, somebody was like, dude, you got to beat him in brisket. You got to beat him in brisket. I was like, I hope the hell I don't. I want to see him get a hat trick.
And he got it. Nice. All right. The RGC is this man right here, Mr. Charles Tant.
Job, Charles.
Let's put him up there. There he is right there. Congratulations, Charles, from Berry to Bone Barbecue, the RGC of that event in Weatherford. Spicewood Barbecue Cook-Off Grand Champion Randall Johnson, Ocala Q. Randall, congratulations. In the RGC, Michael Sargent from Bubba Fat's Barbecue. That was over in the Lone Star. And over in the Outlaw Barbecue Association. Man, lots of yes. Lots of events last weekend. Limestone County Go Texan Cook-Off. Grand Champion Chris Hamilton, Young Gun Cookers. RGC Chris Wilson from Team FTS. And in Ardmore, Oklahoma, Red River Classic, Grand Champion Kurt Wallace, Smoked and Furious, and the RGC, Ed Falder, Big Ed Barbecue.
Ed does good up there. Ed, I'll tell you what, Ed, man, he's a strong cook and
very strong.
We love to go to Ardmore and battle it out. I've reserved it and I've granted it. Ed's always been right there, like you can't. Him and Chris Hatcher. Charles has been there. I've reserved it. Charles won it that year, and then I won it the next year and got my auto for Oklahoma for the Jack. So it was kind of because COVID hit, But Ed Falder, man,
dude, I'll tell you what, it's an awesome feeling granting a competition and having Aaron as your reserve. It was surreal for me.
That's pretty cool. Aaron, have we walked the stage together? First and second? I don't know.
No, we haven't walked the stage together. You and I have not done it, and me and Phil have not done it.
All right. Well, let's make
and
that
I have
happen
not done with Fred either. I've come close
Let's
with Fred.
Make that happen. And
yeah,
apparently there was a BCA contest over in Louisiana. Shout out to the Reserve Grand Champion. Reserve Grand Champion.
There's a lot of people going for first place on that.
There were 3 people with 30 points. Shout out to Mike Steele with oh my gosh, I know it. Pigs and Wild, right? Pigs and Cows Gone Wild. There it is, Mike Steele with Pigs and Cows.
I don't know why he doesn't have Barbecue Champs Academy as his team name. I mean, he's promoting that thing. That should be his team name.
Yes,
man, I need to call Mike in a minute.
Yeah, he ought
Grand
to be
Champion.
The So Smoking Gooder Show.
Who? What?
I said he ought to be sponsoring the So Smoking Gooder Show.
He has his own show on Tuesdays. But the grand champion of that event, you need 7 to get to the Jack, right, guys? You need 7. This man on a 3-week tear hit his number 6 grand champion in the BCA. I don't know the name of it. Sorry. But is this man right here? He gets his own page.
I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be me. I'm gonna start doing that.
Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried Barbecue. Congratulations, Bill.
By the time the Jack rolls around, he's gonna have 14.
I'll tell you what. I will tell you something about Bill right now. When you are on a drive and you're driving, and Bill knows me, Phil, Bill, Fred, everybody drives. But there's guys that drive a little extra than others, right? But you can always count that when you're leaving Kansas or Oklahoma or Colorado or Wyoming, wherever, that this guy right here, he knows you're tired just as much as he is. He'll call you up. Or I'll call. I mean, no matter what, someone will call. But Bill's always good for a phone call. Say, hey, brother, how you doing? And he will help you kill an hour and a half on the road because you're tired. You're trying to get home, trying to get back where you're at. And Bill's that kind of guy. He's solid, stand-up dude, man. You just can't beat that. Where you get a phone call, it's Bill Purvis, it's 10:30 at night. You're trying to make it 2 more hours. So he's a stand-up dude, and he deserves every bit of number 7. And I hope he gets there. I know he'll get it. He's got 4 months.
If you're a betting man or woman, I would say it's going to happen. It's going to happen right there. And there it is. You can't have that picture right there, which is a great picture. But Let's bring on Big Bill. What's Big Bill have to say about it? Right there. There he is. Right there.
Oh,
there
slide.
he is. Big Bill. Big Bill knows what's up. He's on a tear. Something like Bill being a two. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Bill will call
I
you.
tell you, I was on my way to Pierre Park and I was driving. It was a 13-hour drive. And I was driving. It was about 10:30 at night, give or take. And I'd made it past Shreveport. I was doing like 90 because I just want to get there, but I'm tired, but I'm not tired enough to pull over and go to sleep. And Bill posted about some all natural pork butts that he got at HEB, and it was a good money muscle. And he posted about it, and I was like, I made a comment thinking, maybe he'll see it, and then he'll see it, he'll respond back. So I'm just looking, I'm Facebooking trying at 90 miles an hour, trying to keep myself going because I'm just tired, but I'm trying to get there. I'm just trying to get where I got to go. I don't want to pull over and go to sleep. So I get there and I'm driving, I'm doing my thing, and Bill, all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 comments, and then here Bill Purvis on the phone. He's like, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "Man, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm like 3 hours south of Shreveport, and I'm like, I'm trying to get to Pierre Party. I'm leaving in the morning. I'm like, wow, that's cool, man. I'm just trying to get there tonight. I just want to get there before the sun comes up." But he was right there on the phone, 30, 40 minutes. It was time for him to go to bed and get some sleep. But I'm going to tell you, that guy, genuine, from the first time I met him at the Chupacabra Showdown in probably 19-ish, I guess it was. He had his britches on. He had his pants cuffed up on his Crocs. He was like, I was trying to be like you big dogs, And I'm like, Bill, man, you're well on your way. So I met him at Fred's class, and it was just like he's a genuine guy, and you can't mistake in that for anything. But he's always going to be someone in your back pocket you can make a phone call to, or he'll call you and just help keep you on the road, because we all know we travel a lot, so it's kind of hard to stay awake.
Look at Shane. What's up, Shane? Welcome to the show, man. I remember Chicken Little barbecue, if I'm not mistaken. Take the over. Yeah, I would take the over for sure. Thanks, Ron, Bill Purvis. Bill is great. Hope he gets it next week. Where am I cooking? Yeah, Bill won't be there. Yeah, Bill, go get it next week. I will not be there as well.
Bill's got those big contest names. He's got those numbers right there. He knows what's going on.
It is awesome to witness that 7th, though.
Yeah, that would be fun to witness the 7.
So Bill, you got to have to get you a bottle of Jack Daniels. I have a bottle of Jack Daniels in my trailer that's not open. Just so when you hit number 7, you can put that motherfucker in your photo, and you can take that shot, and you put that on there, and you get that bottle of Jack, because you know where you're going. You're going to Lynchburg, Tennessee.
We got about 7 minutes left in this show, and I will preview what's coming up for the upcoming shows.
I'll drink it for you, though, Bill, because Bill doesn't drink. So I will drink that for you, by the way. If you just hold it up, crack the seal, I'll take care of it for you after
that. Charles.
Yes, sir.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we wrap this up for 7 minutes? I want to give a shout out to both of you guys. It's been a great show, Charles. Aaron, this has been great. I think the people that are watching have gotten something out of this thing. A lot of barbecue knowledge being spit out there. And like I say on this show all the time, shut up and listen. This is a great opportunity to shut up and listen and just learn something. But Charles, anybody you want to give a shout out to before we wrap this up?
My wife, for supporting my bad habits.
That's great, bro. And he's done. I like it.
Short and sweet, to the point. I mean, I tell you.
My wife is an awesome person.
Yes, there it is. Aaron is a natural co-host.
Fucking right I am. God damn, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll tell you this. I told you I'd keep the language down just a little bit,
I don't mind it. I like it. Hey, we're not FCC rated.
It's never a dull moment, you know what I mean? It's always like it's there, but
wait, is that the one? Yeah, Federal Communications something. What's the air? What?
FCC.
That's what I said. FCC.
Federal
What's the one for flying?
Communications.
What's the flying organization that the airport
Mosquitoes?
one, right? No.
Oh,
no. Regardless, what FAA? There it is. FAA. Yeah,
FAA.
FCC. There it is. Thank you, producer Ty, on it for sure. Look at Anna. I love her. Praying for everyone's safe travels this weekend. Thank you very much. James Minotti, great show. Awesome co-host. Aaron, awesome co-host.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I heard Ed and Scotty going to have some badass enchiladas. They're camping. Alvin.
I heard y'all had a band this week. I heard y'all had a private band.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm going to tell you what. You put a bunch of barbecue cooks together in the same camp. They all have kind of the same idea. And one guy makes a comment. Next thing you know, you got a private band. Your own personal band around a Cholo stove.
Only 22 bucks. You're all good. There it is. Captain Joey Smith, Manny Moreno. Great show. T Squared. What's up, T Squared? Thanks for tuning in. There it is. We got FAA. Look, all these guys. FAA. Yeah, these are the guys that aren't drinking that can put that in the front of their load real quick. Aaron, anybody you want to give a shout out to before we get out? And thanks for being the co-host tonight, man. This is great.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'll tell you, I got a great family. My family supported me 100% from the day one. They don't go with me hardly anymore. I kind of burned them out about 2018, but you start doing these things 40 plus a year. They just kind of like, I think I'll stay home, mow the grass. So it's kind of I honestly, all the supporters that buy our product, no matter what company you support, no matter if it's me or Phil or Bill or Fred or Robert, anybody that you purchase from, doesn't matter who it is. Supporting local small business, we appreciate that. But I appreciate all my Team Old Us guys. I've got a tight circle of 5 or 6, 8, 10 guys that just I can call on, I can talk to. We can run things through. They're like, hey, what are you thinking? And so if you have that support group, my group grows bigger every weekend. So I want to say, my family first, and at the same time, all the Team Old Us, anyone who supports us and wants to come up and shake my hand. I'm not an intimidating guy, so I want to get that out of the way. I'm pretty gentle, but come up, man, shake our hands, talk to us, because that's who we love. We love cooks, we love talking to people, but anyone, all the barbecue community, whatever, you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate y'all's support with that.
Aaron, you've been amazing. Charles, you've been amazing. Are
we doing an after show?
Do you want to do an after show?
I still got I don't know, 2 drinks left, so I'm in.
I got to give it a shout out to. Yeah. I got to give a shout out to the Gooder Gang. We just had 69 people still on watching this.
Are you serious? They're still watching 69,000 people
across the 3 platforms. It's been amazing. This has been a great show. I do want to give a preview of what we got coming up here, for the next couple weeks. There it is, right there. This weekend, March 22nd, we had our special co-host, and this was amazing, Aaron Leslie from Texas Old Us. We had Charles Tant with Barry DeBone Barbecue. Next week, we're going to have Steve Jimenez. You guys know Steve Jimenez from High Strung Barbecue. And we're going to be talking barbecue to get the young people involved. We're going to have Tate and Scott Stanush. Tate won the grand champion at the San Antonio Rodeo.
Come on, Rob. Fuck,
is it Stanish?
Man.
Is it Stanish?
God dang, dude. Get with the fucking program, Rob. Fuck.
That's why you're the co-host tonight, my man. Tate and Scott Stanish from Tater Surf and Q. They won the grand champion for the High School Barbecue Association at the San Antonio Rodeo. We'll want to talk to them about how you get in. A lot of us have young kids. A lot of us have kids that want to get into barbecue. There's a big push for junior high and high school barbecue teams, and there's a big organization out there doing this thing. So we're going to visit with a grand champion that just went through it in the high school level. Tate and Scott is his dad, but Tate from Tater's Surf and Q, Stanish. And of course, we're going to see, if you got Steve, I want to get on Shauna Rapolo with Sassy Joe Griller. She's a world champion steak cooker. Yeah. So that's going to be a great show. Can we have a drinking game? And then April 5th, we got the Spice Queen and Made for KC. Boom. Amy Yunk is going to be our special co-host April 5th. And we're going to be visiting.
Good job, Rob.
We're going to be visiting with Smoke and Magic. They won the Made for KC event last year. So now they are in the Kansas City International Airport. And we're going to talk to them about all this whirlwind. You know, they won that event. Now they are in a Kansas City new wing terminal at the Kansas City International Airport talking barbecue. So that's what we got coming up March 29th and April 5th. So we got the next 2 shows lined up. Guys, I can't thank you guys enough. Aaron Leslie, boom, from Texas Oil Dust. Charles, oh, man, how can I pull this down? There it is right there. Hide it. There it is.
Amy's good people. Amy is genuine. Her dad, Old World Spice, man, and she's been there a long time. She just announced her retirement. Yep. I'm sure you might have heard that. So I think 32 years. I think that's where she's at. So Amy's an awesome person. She's great vibe. So that's going to be a show you're going to want to tune into because she has a lot of knowledge. If you're looking for spices and rubs and how to get into something or where to go with, you need to listen to Amy's show because she's got a lot of knowledge on that.
Aaron, you want to do an after show on YouTube?
Man, let's fucking do it, dude. I'm in. I tell you this. I got 30 briskets on the smoker back here. And of course, I had somebody checking them, but I have to check them in a minute. But I mean, I'm here all night. So let's do it.
If anybody wants to join us on YouTube, we'll have an after show, but it's only on YouTube. So if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, make sure you do. And we'll come on in about 10 minutes. We'll come on after this show. But shout out
Bill
to
go
Aaron
to sleep
Leslie.
yet?
Who?
Did Purvis go to sleep yet?
No, Bill's a night owl. Those that don't know Bill's a night
bullshit. He will stay up till 4 a.m. Facebooking and throwing buckles out there. You need to get those guys on right there, Bill and Tom. They need to be on that damn show too. So
I want to get this guy on my show real quick. I want to get this guy on my show, James Dodson. He needs to tell his side of the story of the whole box running.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. James just took his goddamn ass too damn long, and he knows what he did. He let Erica try to run up there and turn a box. It was past the damn turning time. James knows he's getting his ass handed to him. Oh, Erica's going to kick his ass.
Why is everybody cussing on this show tonight? What's going on here? I think it's the brown.
Dude, look at that chicken fry right there. I guarantee you, Salty there will bring it out. So you just put Bill on and get Tom and Bill on there and all that good shit. We'll blow the roof off this fucking YouTube.
All right, guys. If y'all want to join us, we'll come on in about 10 minutes on YouTube. So Smoking Gooder Show on YouTube. But hey, Charles, thank you so much for being our guest on the show, our featured guest.
Thank y'all for having me.
Charles, are you going to bed, Charles?
My wife's wearing my belt.
I think yes. I think yes. Lobo's Den is
I don't know how to take that, buddy. I mean, she's wearing your belt. I don't know if that's 50 Shades of Grey shit or what.
You know the wrestling belt?
Oh, I thought we were talking about some 50 Shades of Grey shit going on.
She's wearing that wrestling belt right now.
Taz 00036 from Twitch. Thank you for tuning in. We didn't get our Twitch raid tonight.
So let me show y'all real quick. This is an Aaron Leslie drink. You ready? You count to 7. That right there is a whiskey and Sprite. I'm just saying. Y'all ever want to know?
How many do you count when you add the Sprite?
Well, so actually, normally it's all whiskey and a little bit of Sprite, but I already had this one filled because it's number 3, so I didn't really know what to do.
Hey, Ty, can you play our walkout music, my man? We're about to get out of here, my man. Look at this guy. Producer Ty. Let me give a shout out to him. I'm going to bring him on real quick. Ty, say hello to the peeps. You've been doing an amazing job back there in the background.
What's up, Gooder Gang?
That is producer Ty right there.
It should be Red Solo Cup. Let's have a party.
All right, for Charles Tant from Berry to Bone, Aaron Leslie, Texas Oil Dust, my man, producer Ty Cobb from the Tomball VFW, said part-time producer, former Army guy. Thank you for your service, Ty.
Ty, did he give you stock in the company?
Absolutely. I got all kinds of
man. That's good. That's good.
My name is Robert Rocha, and we are signing out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. 8 o'clock. You know where to be. Right here.
Adios, guys. Thank y'all.
Good night.